Astronauts to the moon.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Jeranism again, back with another video for you today. A video where we'll be exploring NASA and those who believe in it, why I see it as a religion, and why I think people have been duped. I did want to mention that if you've been waiting for the winner of the NASA acronym contest, I will be releasing that probably after this video, so you can stay tuned to my channel for that, but I did not forget. I just wanted to get this video done first. I find it very important. So we are going to be discussing the religion that is the belief in NASA. And at this point, I think that it has surpassed the belief in the flat earth in levels of stupidity. If you believe in flat earth, okay, yeah, you can still be called names, everything else. But if you believe in NASA, I can't help you. I don't know what to tell you. It really is getting bad. They are purposely just taking a dive. And I want to show you some of that stuff tonight. First, let's listen to a quote from my best friend, Lawrence Krauss.
But science another major misconception about science is that science is involved with the truth. Science cannot prove something to be absolutely true. There are no absolute truths in science. That's also how it differs from religion. Science can prove things to be absolutely false. That's how science progresses, because an idea that disagrees with the evidence of experiment is false. And it's false today, and it'll be false tomorrow.
So my question goes out to all those scientism believers. What do you think of Lawrence Krauss's comment there? If science isn't about proving things true, then why is that all you guys run around saying? Is that it's already been proven, it's already been proven, gravity is a fact, this is a fact, relativity is a fact, the Big Bang is a fact. How come Lawrence Krauss just said that science isn't about proving what is true? You know, what bothers me is I hear all the time, oh, boy, you don't like your cell phone? You don't like your car? You don't like your computer? And I just laugh because I love that kind of science. What I don't like is the kind of science that is just thrown in your face as you better accept this because it's true. And why do we have science tests in school which have a right and wrong answer? That's not science. That isn't science. Science should be about the discussion that we've been having in some of these comments about whether the earth is flat or whether the earth is a sphere, because guess what, guys? It has not been proven. And that's what I hope to show you tonight on this video. I mean, for example, they observed the universe and they noticed that some of the celestial bodies were not adhering to what gravity says they should. Now, according to what Lawrence Krauss just said, if something is proven false by experiment, it's thrown out. If it's false today, it's false tomorrow, it'd be false for all time. No, 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 not in the science world where you have dogma and beliefs in the high church. Instead, we invented dark matter. We invented dark energy. And anyone who doesn't believe that doesn't even read up on science. You just simply believe whatever you want to. The facts are 96% of the observable universe now, thanks to you and thanks to science, has never been observed. That's horseshit. So my biggest problem is we were all taught the globe. In school, it was in our first grade classroom. It was taught to us as a fact. It was not, this could be true, this is a theory, or as Lawrence Krauss said, science isn't about proving what's true. We were told we live on a globe. Fantastic. Now, there is no evidence of this video footage. There's no, where's the videos of the planes going upside down? Lawrence Krauss, your opinion, please.
If you can't test it, it isn't science. And there are lots of things you can't.
Planes, if they're flying all around the world, some of them are upside down. Now, I know you guys like to say, no, 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 it doesn't work that way because each person's frame of reference, blah, blah, blah. No, if some planes are going on the top of the dome or the top of the globe, then some planes are flying at the bottom of the globe, upside down. Why doesn't the ISS show us video of that? Because it's impossible. It doesn't happen. And that's what I'm trying to get at. This has never been proven. It's impossible. It's conjecture. It's crap. It's hearsay. It's a dogmatic belief. It's a religion taught in schools to my kid. I don't want it taught. If you can tell, I'm kind of upset today. You'll see why in a few minutes. One of the things I've been floored by lately is the amount of people who are questioning me or giving me a hard time on my channel about not providing evidence, which I thought that I was. But at the same time, I want to ask them, where is your evidence? What I see from people is them saying, you look out the window of a plane and you see a curve. And I hear people saying, what about the boat that goes over the horizon? And it is as if they don't think. For instance, you'll see my image up here. Why don't we have items leaning back? For instance, if a boat was to go over the horizon, that boat would be leaning, not going down little steps like it's an escalator. That's what we see in all these little videos that they put up online, which are just crap, more misinformation. And if you look at my image there again, you'll also notice if everyone on the earth stood up and all looked north, we'd all look in every different possible direction. Now, so is everyone's opinion and everyone's eyewitness account the proof of the globe?
We know, not only from research in psychology, but simple empirical evidence in the history of science, that the lowest form of evidence that exists in this world is eyewitness testimony.
And so I throw it back at you guys, scientism believers, NASA lovers. What is your proof of the globe? Tell me your scientific proof.
But so we progress, but we never say we know the absolute truth, because that is that's a claim that's an anathema to science. It's just not the way science works.
So you never say that science is absolutely true, yet I've been told at least 100 times in my comments, gravity is a fact. Gravity cannot be disputed. Gravity is true. Relativity is true. The stars being trillions and quintillion miles away is true. The moon being a spherical object is true. Is it, guys? I think I'm going to show you differently. And how about this image taken by, yeah, you guessed it, me. At the last full moon, I took this image, and I wanted to show you because if you notice, this item, which, again, 90% of the world, 95%, who knows, would say is a spherical object in the sky. Look at it carefully. That item is a disk. It is not a sphere. Where's the hot spot? Ever heard of a hot spot? If it is a sphere, take a flashlight tonight, shine it at a basketball, and take a look that there will be a bright spot, and it will be the location of the sphere closest to you because it's a ball, so it's got the top is not as close to you as the side. And when we're talking about something as large as the moon, you would definitely see a dark top and bottom. Do you see a dark top and bottom, or do you see uniform light throughout? Now I want to get into these nonsense beliefs that everyone adheres to just because NASA said so. NASA could tell everybody that they're dogs tomorrow, and all of you would go out and be seen at Petco buying dog treats for yourselves. So let's start off first with this image. I'm not sure if you can see it. You'll see a very giant moon on your right. You'll see a little tiny speck there, and this is what the NASA website says. What's that in front of the moon? It's the International Space Station. Using precise timing, the Earth-orbiting space platform was photographed in front of a partially lit moon last year. The featured image was taken from Madrid, Spain, with an exposure time of only 1/1000 of a half of a second. The sun-glinting station can be seen just to the dark side of the day-night line known as the Terminator. Numerous circular craters are visible on the distant moon, as well as comparatively rough, light-colored terrain known as the Highlands, and relatively smooth, dark-colored areas known as the Maria. Online tools can tell you when the International Space Station will be visible from your area. That is such bullshit. I mean, come on. Who believes this shit? You cannot see the International Space Station from Madrid, Spain, taking a photo with the moon in the background. I don't care about perfect timing. It's bullshit. And this is precisely why I call it a religion. You should be allowed to either believe in this stuff or not. But they teach it in schools as fact. That is what's wrong. And I plan on stopping it eventually. Because it is a religion. It is nothing but a religion. Look at this image. You believe that? I mean, honestly, it hurts me inside to think somebody looks at this image and thinks, wow, look at all the suns. The suns in the vast universe. And look at the little jellyfish-looking collision of galaxies, kind of. It's paint shop. It is a drawing. Those aren't suns. We don't rotate one of those little dots. Wake up, people. Look at this next image. Now, this is supposedly star cluster NGC 2419 at a distance of 300,000 light years. I'll say it again. 300,000 light years. Now, for those of you who still worship NASA blindly and just love them to death, let me explain to you what they're throwing over your head with this nonsense. 300,000 light years would be times 6 trillion miles equals 1.8 quintillion miles. Okay, so that may not seem like a lot because it's a number we don't even understand. Let's take a look at what that number actually means. Now, I don't know about for you, but $10 to me is a lot of money, right? So let's say you take $10 and you put it in a hat every single second. You don't sleep, you don't eat, you don't drink, you just keep putting $10, $10, $10 into a hat every single second. Now, my question is, how long would that take you until you got to $1.8 quintillion in that hat? And the reason we're doing this exercise is so you can see you've been fooled. There is nothing 1.8 quintillion miles away from anything, and even if there was, what do we care? Do you know how far away that is? Well, let's find out, right? So again, you're putting $10 in a hat every single second, every waking day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. How long would you have to be putting money in that hat till the hat equaled 1.8 quintillion? Answer is 5.7 billion years. That's longer than the science facts tell us that the Earth has been here. If you sat there for every single second and put $10 in that hat, it would take you 5.7 billion years. And that should tell you it's horseshit. Yet you guys still all believe it. Oh, those up in the sky, those are stars, which are really suns, which really have planets of their own. It's asinine. I mean, come on, guys, wake up. Is there any stars that are 1.8 quintillion miles away? Survey says. And of course, that's another big no. Now, the next thing, equally hilarious. This is, you can go online, go to NASA, and you can play around on Vesta. Woo! You can explore the asteroid Vesta. And I'm reading now straight from NASA's page. Recently, NASA's robotic spaceship Dawn visited Vesta, the second largest object in our solar system's main asteroid belt, which lies between Mars and Jupiter. During a year-long stopover, Dawn's cameras photographed Vesta's entire surface, documenting all of the minor planets' major mountains and craters. But it gets better. It then says, and this is honest to God from the NASA page, Dawn then departed Vesta in 2012 and is now just beginning to photograph and explore the mysteries of the largest object in the asteroid belt, the dwarf planet Ceres. Let me repeat that. Dawn departed Vesta in 2012 and is now beginning to... So what are we supposed... This is a roving photograph-taking robot that flew to Vesta and then took off? Maybe you can start to see why I'm getting a little bit fed up with this stuff. This is some horse crap. I mean, my problem is, why do you have to lie? Why do you have to lie to us? It's the worst thing humans can do to each other, is tell lies, and yet we pay our tax money and give our adoration to, ooh, NASA, Steal from me some more. Tell me some more bullshit that I have to believe, or else I'm laughed at by all these people on YouTube. Like I could care less. But let's look at this next little image. We got looks like a rocket pouring through some clouds there. So let's see what NASA's wonderful description for this image is. What's that rising from the clouds? That's the space shuttle. Sometimes if you looked out the window of an airplane at just the right time and place, you could see something very unusual, a space shuttle launching into orbit. Images of the rising shuttle and its plume became widely circulated over the web after Endeavour's final launch in 2011 in May. And the above image was taken from a shuttle training aircraft by NASA and is not copyrighted. Taken well above the clouds, the image can be matched with similar images, blah, 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 blah. It's taken, so during a shuttle launch, the image was taken from an aircraft that was doing a shuttle training by NASA? Come on, survey says. Next image, we've got the wonderful landscape of Mars. Do you really believe that, folks? Do you really believe that we have a rover on Mars? Are you not grown up enough yet to realize what's going on here? Now let's look at this rover. Anybody think that this guy looks a little bit familiar? The head kind of area, this whole thing just looks like nonsense to me. But when you really look at him, doesn't it look like they're copying somebody? Maybe it's just me that sees it. And then you look at that red laser. What does that remind you of? Anybody remember a movie circa early 80s, mid 80s? Anybody?
Read input. Input.
I mean, guys, they're pulling your chain. That's number 5. Johnny 5.
Not malfunction, Stephanie. Number 5 is alive.
I mean, there's no question here, guys. This is the best NASA could do. Look at the laser shooting off of number 5's arm. I mean, this is the exact same replica. There is no rover on Mars. There is no Mars. You can't go land on planets. We can't even leave the Earth. And these guys want us to believe that we're out there landing robots on Mars with all the rotation of all the planets and all the gravity. We just figured that all out, yet we can't do shit on Earth. Like, what good does that do? What good does that do us to be on Mars? You know what happens when you're out in space, they say? Your bones break down, you become brittle, you need to come back right away or else your bones break. But we're going to go live on Mars? Who's going? Send Elon Musk there. Send Bill Nye the Lying Guy. Send those guys out to Mars because nobody's going to Mars, guys. Come on. Send number 5. I mean, I got to ask again, is there a rover named Curiosity right now on the planet Mars? Survey said. That's another negative there, scientism believers. This next image I just wanted to show you, I still get people questioning why in the superior mirages, aka the fact that we can see further than they tell us. You'll see in that image there that the telephone poles get very, very small towards the end of the train tracks, and that's the same thing that would happen with your vision all the time. So you're going to see buildings at the end, but they're going to get kind of squished, so you may not think you see the bottom of the building, but what you see is a squished image. One of the biggest questions I get that bothers me is people thinking they are Superman, and that if it's a flat Earth, they should be able to see from one side to the other, which is just crazy. Take a look at these images that clearly show that there's something called smog, there's something called fog, there's something called mist, there's something called dew, there's something called smoke, there's something called exhaust. These are all things that block our view, and we have a limit to what we can see. Very simply put. So when you see a superior mirage like this image here, again, if the Earth was a globe, those buildings would be tilted back. So how did they come back to be standing up right now? This is horseshit, guys. The fact that you believe this and come to... It's a superior mirage, it's looming. That's all it is. It's looming. It happens all the time. No, it doesn't happen all the time. It happens only when we happen to have a clear day and can see further than they tell us we can. I mean, the fact is, there is no curvature of the Earth. We don't live on a globe. Anyway, I did want to tell you real quick how to go about getting that curvature calculation. It's very simple. Take 8 times the miles in distance times the miles in distance, and then that will give you your inches, so you could divide by 12 if you so like, and get your feet. And if you ultimately have to, you can also then divide by 5280. That will give you your miles if you're going huge distances, like California to Hawaii, that supposedly has a 779-mile curve which nobody can measure, yet the globe is still a fact. It's a fact. We've already measured it. Science. Nonsense. Now, here's the way I'm going to test it, and I need some help from the audience. If any of you guys have a nano laser, can you please contact me, jeranism@yahoo.com. I just want to borrow it. You could mail it to me. I'm going to use it once, and then I'm going to wrap it back up and mail it back to you. I'll even pay for your shipping to me. Otherwise, I got to go out and spend $100, which I don't have, on a nano laser. Once I have my nano laser, I'm going to go to a lake here in California, take a couple buddies with me, and we're simply going to find a spot where the banks are 3 miles across from each other. Using the calculations we just came up with, 8 times 3 is, 24 times 3 is 72. And then we're going to divide that by 12, and that gives us 6 feet. So if you look at my little drawing here, we're going to build a little housing. It's going to be that little triangle thing in the upper right-hand corner. It's going to be barely 6 inches high. It's going to house the laser, which is going to sit about water level, could be about 6 inches higher, on one side of the bank, 3 miles across, and we're going to shoot the laser to the other side. Very simply, if the laser is 6 inches above the water at the other side, the Earth is flat. If the laser is 6 feet in the air, taller than a human, it would be 6.5 feet actually. If it's 6.5 feet above the water, then the Earth is curved. Easy test, and all I need is a nano laser so that it goes all the way across, which is a total of 3 miles. I think most of the nano lasers go 5 to 10. They have enough power, and then by putting it in the housing, it should be plenty steady. The other good thing about doing the test this way is it is actually fail-proof, because if we were on a curve, and you can see on the left side of this image here, if the Earth is curved, it will be impossible for me to shoot the laser to 6 inches above the water, because it would have to go through the water, which it does not do. So it is kind of fail-safe that we're either going to find out whether it's flat or curved. I'm going to film it, tape it. We'll have it all up there for you so you can watch me. The only thing we're missing now, the nano laser. So if anyone's got one or can get a deal somewhere so that they're not $100, please contact me via email. I would love to get this proof out there. And then first step I'm taking is getting it removed out of the schools, because that is some bullshit that they have convinced us that something is science when it is religion. And I am truly sorry, atheists, that you hate God or the idea of a creator so much that you're willing to go to these lengths to get your stupid ball in your stupid outer space taught in schools so that we all believe it is fact. Your gig is up. Show some proof or get out. Earth is not a globe. And we'll show some more examples of that here. Now you start to see why I'm getting so frustrated, because some of these videos will make you die laughing. First, we've got some eclipse nonsense. All right, so lately I've been digging into some eclipse stuff, trying to figure out exactly what's going on with the eclipses and the flat Earth. And you'll see here comes the moon from the top, which causes the sun to start to rotate. You could see the sunspots were kind of on that right side, and now here they come up to the top and they keep rotating around, because that happens. Does that ever happen on Earth? Survey says. Next, we've got a little side view of the eclipse from Earth, or of Earth, and you'll see here comes the shadow there on the right side of the Earth. But if the shadow is going around the back side of Earth, how is that possible? How is the shadow going over there? Isn't the sun on the left-hand side? We just saw the shadow on the left-hand side as it came across. How is the sun still going around the back of the Earth? Holy nonsense. Now, how about this one? We're flying in from the sun, and it's showing, oh, is this what happens during an eclipse? Oh, I see, and then the moon comes in front. Now, that's peculiar, because the moon takes 28 days to get around the Earth, you jackasses. What kind of image are we showing people? That is not what happens. You just completely, look at, what is that? It's rotating at the same speed as the Earth? No, no, no. We rotate once every 24 hours, you guys said, and the thing rotates 28 days around us. So stop showing me bullshit. Now, here in this image, oh, is this what happens during eclipses? Okay, I see. So the moon kind of goes in front of the sun. Makes sense. Here comes the Earth. What the hell is it doing? That's not the way the Earth rotates the sun. What are we showing people? This is what science has become. This is bullshit. It doesn't even explain your guys' theory. This is not, where's the Earth going? It doesn't cross the sun going right to left, ever. Where's the moon going? What is this animation showing? Now you guys see why I'm livid, because this is bullshit. And people just believe it. They're even, are anybody watching this? Oh, here comes the moon, and it dips down, and then kind of pauses, and then fills in perfectly, and we get the bright light behind it, and then it goes up and out. Is somebody dropping something in and calling it an eclipse? What is going on here? And this next video was a video taken from Australia, so you're like, okay, a video, thank God this is going to show me something real. You'll see now the moon is creeping from left to right. Everybody see that? The moon is creeping left to right. So I'm confused. Is it because it's Australia? Is the moon upside down? Is everything upside down? None of your guys' stuff makes sense. Half the time it's showing right side up, half the time it's upside down. And this is just crazy because, okay, it's about to be a full eclipse. It's going to completely cover it. At which point, then it would be completely covered, or will there be a little outer glow, the sun's corona, or whatever you want to call it. But let's see, it's getting pretty close here. People in Australia are about to go crazy. So let's see, their count is getting 3, 2, 1. Oh, they were a little late. But now, this is the kind of nonsense I just do not get. And it's completely covered. It's out. There's no light. Boom. Moon takes up the whole sun. It's completely dark in the world. People are crying. It's very sad. Now, what happens here, and this is what I'm talking about, this is bullshit. Who is lying to us? What happened to that image? What was that? It was just black. How did all of a sudden this glow appear around the sides of it? At the same time, the video kind of went out like it was edited. I can't be the only one who watches this stuff. And in a minute, we're going to watch some more NASA footage from their stupid ISS. And I'm telling you, if you guys are looking for something to do, it's Friday night, you're bored, go to ISS Live. Thursday night, you're bored. Tuesday morning, you're bored. Sunday morning, you're bored. Get your whole family together, gather them around the couch, put that on TV, and laugh your damn asses off because it's a joke. There's not one part of that that is even close to being somewhat legit. And there's people out there, I won't mention any of their names, however, one of them is a color of the rainbow. I'll just leave it at that. One of their YouTube names starts with a color of the rainbow. But on one of his comments, on one of his videos, somebody was saying how great these astronauts in the ISS are, and he followed it up with, yeah, they've been up there doing it for 15 years like bosses. Like, doing what? Wasting $150 billion on what has the ISS given humanity? What has NASA given humanity? Nothing. What has evolution given humanity? Nothing. What has gravity given humanity? What has relativity given humanity? This is nonsense. That's not science. And don't tell me, oh, you like computers, you like calculators. Guess what? Humans invented that stuff, folks. Without NASA, humans would have still invented it. NASA's a joke.
Nerve-wracking right
Listen
until
to this
the
girl.
last minute, and then Queensland delivered. It was great.
Absolutely amazing, and then more. I think I just feel tiny. I feel like a little ant, insignificant. You know, you see the movement of the Earth, and it's...
That's what NASA did, ladies and gentlemen. That's what science did. That's what evolution did. That's what the universe did. That's what planets did, and stars, and 1.8 quintillion miles away. They made people feel insignificant, and now they're a bunch of dicks because of it. I'm telling you. Possibly the saddest thing I know is we could change the world tomorrow. The Earth could supply clothing, food, and shelter for all 8 billion of the people across the plane if we just decided to do it. But instead, we've got controllers, and we can't get them out of office because all you assholes are in love with them and in love with science and in love with Neil Tyson deGrasse and in love with Richard Dawkins. These guys are not bringing anything to humanity. Think about it. Think about it. What has atheism done besides put a bunch of people in forums so that they can act like they're cool by yelling at Christians? It's like, look what you believe in. 1.8 quintillion miles, I'd rather believe in the virgin birth. It honestly is just so frustrating. So very frustrating. I mean, look at this next image. They always show this image. Now look where I'm drawing my yellow lines here. Where's the rest of the sunlight? When did the sun start pointing only at the moon? It's like these diagrams are crap, and they're all meant to keep you in confusion, as is this stupid plane flying out of nowhere. I don't even know what this is going on here. This is in Spanish, by the way, so I couldn't even understand what they were saying in the video. I just watched the video and cried. But it's disgusting. I mean, none of it makes any sense. We expect kids to know this, and it's terrible. It's crap. I love this video. Let's see here. The moon is spinning, because this happens all the time in real life. The moon rotates like a counterclockwise clock. What is going on? I can't take it anymore. I mean, somebody tell me, what can we do to fix this horse shit, this nonsense? What are they showing? I can't even imagine what they're showing. Are they twisting the camera? Who knows? Maybe they're saying it in Spanish. Maybe we should give them a break. I don't know. But it just really makes me sick that when I go looking for videos on the eclipse, I realize it's all nonsense. It's all just crap. It doesn't make any sense. None of it. I mean, look at, there's the moon over there. Where's that girl looking? Well, let's look up here in the sky. Well, the moon's over there. I mean, that's a curve. That's the curvature of the Earth. Guys, try and make something with a shadow and tell me, how do we still see the other side of the moon? If the Earth is blocking the sun, oh, we can still see the moon even though it's being blocked because it's a Fata Morgana. It's a superior image. It's a superior mirage. Oh boy, I'm losing my mind today. Anyway, and this is just something else I found. Possibly you want to take a look at this yourself. What is going on? What are they doing with the weather and the mountains? And if they can do that, can't they fake an eclipse? I mean, if you look at the Wikipedia page for spherical Earth, there's 10 facts of the spherical Earth. I am down to 1 of 10, and it's the stupid eclipse. So I'm trying to figure it out, and I can't even get any good information. But when they've got mountains looking like that, I mean, they could be doing anything. These guys are evil Satan worshipers, and they've got a bunch of you guys following along. Atheism is cool. Oh, we came from evolution. We've never seen a species change one time in our lives, but it's because you don't understand time. You don't understand billions of years. Oh, I understand billions of years. I understand their bullshit. And speaking of bullshit, let's go ahead and watch everyone's favorite proof of the spherical Earth, the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, aka every 45 minutes we go offline because we've got to go on the dark side of the Earth, and we can't keep the power possibly running during that time. ISS bullshit. So now I've got an image up. You can see it is dark, so who knows where the sun is from. And I started looking and saying, well, why aren't the shadows changing? Remember, 17,000 miles per hour. Go outside, drive your car 40 miles per hour, and see if the shadows change based on where you're driving and where the sun is hitting your car. Of course they would. But no, not on the ISS going 17,000 miles per hour through space. The sun just remains right on the thing. Look at, no shadows are changing. What a joke. Anyway, we've got a lot of fun to do with this ISS because I'm telling you guys, and you can look down in the lower left and see it's at 104, 105, 106. Go there. I'm not doctoring anything. I'm not changing this. If you go there and just watch, you will lose your mind. It is a travesty. It is a absolute disservice to human intellect to see that people believe this. What is this? What is going on here that we're supposed to believe this? So the globe is usually underneath it, but the globe is now dark. But the ISS is light. So the sun is hitting the ISS, but none of the shadows are changing, but it's going 17,000 miles per hour. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you I'm not that smart, but I'll also be the first one to tell you I'm not that stupid. I'm not. I'm just not that stupid. A lot of you probably are. If you believe this nonsense and think this craft is flying at 250 miles above the Earth at 17,000 miles per hour, while the Earth is rotating 1,000 miles per hour, while it's flying through space at 66,000 miles per hour, while we rotate the sun, which is going itself at a speed of 480,000 miles per hour, which is rotating the Milky Way galaxy, which is itself going 1.4 thousand miles per hour. If you believe that, that's a religion. How else do I say it? I mean, Christians believe in the virgin birth. Big deal. They believe in Noah's Ark. Big deal. Look what you believe in. This is more unbelievable than Noah's Ark. I could get every animal on the earth in 2x2 onto a boat before someone could fly one of these stupid contraptions in a space where there's no air and there's no gravity, and we have to go at this because we're constantly falling, and we're going this speed, but not really, because you only can look at a speed that's relative to another, so you can't really call the speed that we're going the same speed that we're going around the sun. It's a joke. You've been had. It's time to stand up for yourself and stop being a wimp and just following along with whatever science says. Stop it. Wake up. Stand up and be a human being with a brain and a heart and eyes. I mean, I don't want to go into who gave them to you, but you were born with them. Use them. The stupidest thing you could do is listen to another human being who is doing it for money. Look at NASA's made over $1 trillion since Apollo. What have they done, folks? Tell me what NASA has done. And don't come at me, oh, well, they invented a cure for this disease. No, they didn't. They didn't invent anything. Somebody told me the other day, oh, well, they invented something that makes blood pressure go down quicker or something. That would have been invented anyway. Oh, so here, now you look at the screen. The camera's moving. Who's moving the camera? Somebody's got their hand outside the ISS, or, okay, maybe let's say there's a little control arm or something inside the ISS. Now, who's got the light switch? Now, the sun is controlled by light switches. We can turn it on and kind of off and kind of on and kind of off. We still don't have shadows moving anywhere. Obviously, these things in the lower left-hand corner. Oh, let's move the camera a little more so I can show them. Okay. Those are USB input drives. You can see on the left here. Oh, keep moving, I guess. Oh, now it's dark. Watch out. What's going on? It's getting dark. It's kind of scary. I thought that the Earth spun, and that's what caused the sun to shine on the Earth or not. But according to this, we just got lights brightening and not brightening. This is crap, folks. This is their 24 hours a day feed that we're supposed to believe we're in space and that the Earth is a globe and it's all real. What do you guys believe in? I mean, those are little USB ports on the left-hand side, and then there's your little audio jacks. Anybody want to plug your earphones into the audio jacks? Who knows what you'll hear? Maybe you could hear some space sounds. And what do you got here? You still got the lights. How could there still be light on the ISS? Oh, bright light. Oh, dim light. Bright light, dim light. I mean, guys, go to the ISS live feed. Go to Google, type in ISS space, LIVE. It's the first thing that comes up. You go there, you laugh your ass off, you sleep well. It's a lot of fun. I mean, this is just, it's nonsense. I don't even know what's going up. Lights back on. I mean, somebody who believes in this stuff, tell me what's going on. Make a comment and say, I know what's going on. I work for NASA. I am Elon Musk's pool boy. And tell me how in the hell I'm supposed to believe this. Oh, lights out. But not really. Is there a spotlight on the outside of the ISS shining in space? Somebody tell me. Because this is just the funniest thing I've ever seen. What are all these little gadgets? What could those possibly be for? We need those to fly in space. You need little gadget arms and little buttons on the top of things to fly in space. I mean, this is all just a waste of our money. $1 trillion. You know, 30,000 kids die every day in Africa from malnutrition, from starvation, from malaria, from they need bed nets. They need just $1 a day would save these kids. And instead, we feel good about ourselves for spending $1 trillion since 1973 on nothing. You think we put a rover on Mars, you're wrong. I mean, think about this while we watch this stupid film. Think about if instead of putting that rover on Mars, if we would have put it on the moon. Now, we'd have a rover on the moon taking selfies, taking 360-degree panning shots of the Earth, taking nice pictures of the Earth as it spun in space. All this could be going on for half the cost that it cost them to take that stupid thing to Mars. And why wouldn't they do it? Because, guys, it's a joke. How does nobody understand this? That's why they sent it to Mars, because guess what, assholes? You can't get to Mars. You can't second guess them. You can't prove them wrong, because they're on Mars. Does anybody get this? Everybody says, oh, it's proven by math, mathematically proven. Yeah, well, I could mathematically prove that there's an orb above my house rotating also. The difference is you'll come over and test it and say, there's no orb up there. So the difference is you allow NASA to do exactly what I just said, except for you can't test it. Nobody can. NASA's the only one on Mars, and there is no Mars. There is no red planet that rotates out in the middle of space 1.5 million miles from us. 150 million miles from us. It's just there's no such thing. Now, how do we still got light on this contraption? And dark and dim and up and light. The sun is going through some major malfunctions here. Somebody needs to fix it because you're making your stupid ISS look like shit, and NASA must not care anymore. Guys, they just don't care. And yet you still believe it. You'll still sit here and argue with me that there's space, that there's such thing as space. I mean, nobody goes to space. Who goes? They've had 200 astronauts go, and they're basically all military, sworn an oath. I'm sorry, I know it's hard to believe. It's hard for me to believe, too, that there's assholes like that in this world, but there is. Believe me, look at ISIS. There's some dirtballs in this world. It's just, face it. And we need to do something about it, and it's going to only start when everyone stands up for themselves and says, I'm not going to believe this bullshit anymore unless you prove it to me. Prove that we're on a globe. They can't because we're not. Gravity is bullshit, guys. You cannot explain gravity to me or prove gravity without it easily being the proof for weight. There's nothing that gravity does that you can prove to me that weight doesn't do. Oh, well, in a vacuum, both things fall. Yeah, in a vacuum, two things would fall at the same speed, regardless of weight, because there is no air in that room. Okay, usually things have to displace the air that they're in, but no, not in that test. There is no center pulling. I mean, what about when we heard Bill Nye on my last video say, gravity, it's pulling everything towards the center of the earth. That's why trees grow straight up out of the ground. Excuse me? Trees grow up because everything pulls to the center? Think about flowers, guys. Flowers would look like the small letter N. Grass would be all laying down. None of your stuff makes sense. You can't just throw bullshit out there. The moon would have crashed into the earth a long time ago. It does not make sense. Every tree branch that came out of a tree would be immediately pulled towards the center of the earth. Think about it. Whether you weigh 5 pounds as a baby or you weigh 500 pounds as a sumo wrestler, you're pulled to the earth. So if a tree is growing and a little branch pokes out, that branch should go straight to the ground. Every tree should look like a willow tree. Every piece of grass, like I said, should be laying down. There's so many things that are just not right about gravity, yet you'll swear up and down. Why? Because it's science? Because you hate God and you're afraid to think, geez, maybe there is a creator? Oh boy, what else do you think? Look at yourselves right now. Look at yourselves. Take your arm in your hand and move it and look at yourself. Where do you think you came from? Stardust? Neil Tyson deGrasse? Is that what you really think? That stardust all came together and created the most amazing apparatus, the most amazing living organism of all time? Is that what you guys think? It's just frustrating to no end because I know, and I'll just say it right now, I know that we were created, somebody put something into us to know that. And if you're choosing to be an atheist, and if you're choosing to believe in NASA and believe in the universe and believe in the stars, that they're 1.8 quintillion miles away, guys, go outside and look at the stars. They're stars. They're stars that rotate in the sky. That's what they are. They rotate around us, and we don't rotate for shit. Figure it out. It's all easy for you. It's right there in front of you. You're letting these guys take over the world by feeding you bullshit. And not only that, you're not even just listening to it and maybe considering it. You're fighting for them. You're on their team. More power to you. More power to you. If that's what you want to do, enjoy yourself. You know, I don't know what else to say, but I think if you look deep down inside yourself, you can't be that stupid to think we came from evolution. Does anybody really believe that? Does anybody believe we were worms? And then we grew legs and we climbed out of the water, and then we became amphibians, and then we wanted to start laying our eggs on the land, and we became, I mean, come on. What is this light going on now? Okay. Time for me to relax. I'm getting out of control here. Moral of the story, I wanted to get this video out because everything I watch that has anything to do with NASA, has anything to do with SpaceX, has anything to do with Elon Musk, or all these Neil Tyson deGrasse, or, I mean, any of these guys, it is horse shit. It is so bad. And I didn't realize, guys, I was an atheist. I was right there with you. I was one of you. And the thing was, it was because I hated religion. I grew up in Catholicism, and I hated it. I hated it because I felt like they lied to me. And so the second I found, wait a second, there's religion, and then there's the alternative science. I jumped ship so fast, and that was all she wrote. I'm going to be all about science for the rest of my life, so I understand where you are. The difference between me and you was, when I got over there, I questioned everything there too. I said, hold on a second. Before I argue against somebody in a debate about evolution, let me make sure that it's true. You ever heard Richard Dawkins, an evolutionary biologist, explain evolution? It's a joke. It's a belief. Just like NASA, just like the stars, just like the galaxies. Guys, that is a belief. Nothing more. It's just simply something you believe in. It's a religion. You have your high priests. You got your dogma. Oh, boy. I'll relax now. So we still don't even know what's going on. Is this thing flying 17,000 miles per hour? I mean, come on. I mean, this is kind of cool, though. We got this stick here. We need that. And then you see, you plug in your iPod jack in here, your earphones. And you got this little thing over here, which does something. Who knows? This can has some liquid propane in it. And then the bucket on top has some powder that you might need for, you know, emergencies, things up in space. It's another thing about the ISS. Those guys don't wear spacesuits. Look at that rinky-dink piece of shit apparatus. And remember, you've got micrometeors flying at 20 times the speed of a bullet at that thing. Supposed to be hitting it 15 times a minute. Yeah, right. But why wouldn't you wear your... What if there's a hole poked through that? Everybody's dead. Sorry, we didn't take any safety precautions at all. Everybody's dead. You wouldn't wear your helmet in there. You wouldn't wear your spacesuit if you're in space, and the second that there's a hole in the space station, you die. I mean, now look at... We see the sun on the space station, correct? Everybody agrees. Now, in the back, left-hand corner, upper left-hand corner, we'll see that looks like we're about to get a sunrise. Anybody else confused as can be? Anyone else not understand this at all? Where is the sun coming from? Is the sun coming from behind the Earth in the upper left-hand corner of the screen? Or is the sun already on the ISS? Somebody, please tell me, and then go to NASA and let's fly a rocket right into that building so they never get to fly another one again. Give us our $1 million back. I'm sorry. Give us our $1 trillion back. It's quite a bit more money. It's not quite 1.8 quintillion miles, but it is $1 trillion. And NASA stole it to build this rinky-dink model in some warehouse Probably the same warehouse where they built the rinky-dink moon model. And if you guys still believe that we went to the moon, my Lord, are some of us evolving and not others? How do you think in 1969 we went to the moon? Go outside the next time we have a full moon and look in the sky. You cannot go to the moon. It is not a sphere. I mean, come on. And then you guys believe the whole nonsense about one side faces the earth at all times. It just so happens to have been caught right in the perfect orbit that it rotates the earth so perfectly that it always faces the same side. Who else does that? Does any planet do that? Does any planet get caught in the sun's gravity and only face the sun, one side of the planet? No. It's nonsense because they're just lying to you. They make up something new every day and you all believe it. Dark energy, dark matter, quantum physics, quantum energy, this nonsense. I mean, even their name, theoretical physicists. Theoretical. You know what that means? It's a theory. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. Nice job. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. Who knows? We can't really say. Now here, my whole point. The sun is coming up from behind the earth over there, which it shouldn't, right? The earth rotates, which is what causes the sunrise. And how is this happening? What is going on? What is the light appearing behind the earth over there? Oh, now it's... I mean, does anybody believe this? I apologize if you've all turned off my video by now. Kind of on a rant and kind of forgot where I was. It's just frustrating. And I think that this world could be so much better if this shit wasn't believed in. If we took care of each other. Imagine if every person on earth just helped the person to their left. Just help the person to your left. Take care of that person to your left. Make sure they're fed. Make sure they're taken care of. Make sure they're clothed. Make sure they're housed. Everybody do that. And the world is taken care of. I may not believe in the Christianity story and all that stuff, but I do believe we can bring heaven to earth. That's the whole point. Oh boy. And you can see I was trying to fast forward and look at a couple things here. I mean, it just is bad because I really thought human beings were smarter than this. I mean, if you go to the ISS, part of the fun is watching the comment section. People just are in love with that view, and this is the view you get right here. Water. Water. Water and clouds, water and clouds, water and clouds, water and clouds. You'll never see the earth. Maybe once in a while, but you'll barely see a little green patch or something. And then you'll see it go blue because they're on the dark side of the earth. Sometimes they show the nonsense we got to see of the lights and the adjusting of the contrast. But I mean, it has just gotten disgusting. Oh, imagine that, water and clouds. This is the proof of the globe Earth. We are on a globe with people upside down and planes are flying upside down and trees grow upside down and, well, not really, but kind of, because it depends on your point of reference. Doesn't depend on shit. It depends on proving it to me. Let's go, NASA. Prove we are on a globe somehow. Besides your fake CGI images. Beside your... Oh, man. Water and clouds. Oh, man, that's really cool. I thought we was going to see something else. But water and clouds again. And USB ports. And little audio jack inputs. And then... Oh, this right... That up there in the upper left, by the way, that's the Canada arm that... Cristoforetti used to tackle the dragon or grapple the dragon. I forgot how it went. Oh, I got this image too I wanted to show you before we sign off. One more view. This is also from ISS that you can see on the top of the screen. It's one of their recorded sessions. Who knows what's going on? I mean, I can't explain this. If the Earth is spinning, that's what should show the light on the Earth. So what is going on here? What is this glint? Now, did you see the sun? Did anybody see the sun? You might want to rewind the tape. The sun came from the wrong direction. The sun did not come from behind the Earth. The sun came from behind the ISS. I mean, guys, it's over. Stop fighting it. Let's join together as human beings and punch the losers in the face who have lied to us for 60 years. End it. The only reason they get away with this is because we all let them. But I'm done. I'm not letting them anymore. I mean, what is this? Oh, boy. This is what you guys think is space. This is really cool. Galaxies and 1.8 trillion mile or quintillion mile. I mean, this is what is cool. What is going on? That's not space, guys. You'll never go to space. Give it up. Now, where'd the sun go? What is floating down there? I mean, what is going on? Oh, sun going to come back? Did disappear for a second. Let's see. Let's watch. What I'd really like to see is some comments from people that at least say they agree with me. Some of you might say I'm a crazy nutcase, which those people are probably correct. I'm not going to argue with those people. But I will argue with those who want to continue telling me that the Earth is a globe. Come on, guys. Think about it. A globe. Go to sleep tonight. Lay in bed. Close your eyes. And just think what it is that you're saying. That we live on a ball that is flying through space but never gets disturbed in the slightest amount to have us notice it. And it's flying at speeds we can't even fathom. And it's the size we can't even fathom. And that everybody lives on the globe in all different areas, but it's all held together by gravity. It just, it makes no sense. Show me an image. Planes are flying upside down then. NASA, you're in space. Zoom in your little video camera. Not when you're on the dark side. Heaven forbid. Got to turn it off then. Do it when you're on the light side. And show me planes flying upside down. And then somebody will come and say, you idiot. They're not upside down. They're right side up. How? They're from an outside observance. If you're observing something from the outside, you're looking at the globe. People on the top of the globe are going to be flying right side up. You're telling me people at the bottom of the globe are flying right side up too? That's called magic, children. That's fairy tale. Please stop making fun of Christians who believe in a virgin birth and resurrection from the dead when you believe that people can be right side up and upside down at the same time, but not really, but you can't videotape it. There's no proof, but they proved it long ago. Why don't you go back to 500 years ago when the ancient primitive desert wanderers believed the bullshit you believe? I've heard it all. I've heard it all. And why are you protecting these nobodies, these controllers that have obviously blocked off our earth, given us a lie? Think of your grandparents, for God's sakes. That's what bothers me. My grandparents wasted their whole life. Were born, married, had kids, and died, and believed in what the handlers told them. And that is a sad story, and it's not going to be my legacy. That's not what I'm leaving. No way. If it's true, it's true. If it's true, more power to you. Guys, for all I know, when I go do this test this week with my laser, by the way, please email me if you have a nano laser. When I go do the test, if it proves that the Earth is curved, you will hear me come on my channel and say, guys, guess what? The Earth is curved. There must be gravity, and we would start going through that route. But I'm telling you, it's not going to happen simply because water doesn't curve. So, we will find out soon enough. All right, guys, like I said, I need to get to the NASA acronym video and award a winner. I apologize for not being my normal jovial self. Some things have kind of gotten on my nerves today, mostly NASA and science, atheists, bullshit, eclipses, and the globe. But I'll leave us with something jovial. Here's some Lawrence Krauss. He always cheers me up with his nonsense. I'll leave you with that. I remind you to open up your mind. There's truth inside. Stop believing the bullshit and the nonsense from these handlers. Stop parroting everything you hear from them. You're doing exactly what they want. Be nice to each other. Don't lie to each other. Till next time, peace.
But difficult to comprehend is different than existence. That's what's wonderful about physics, is that things that were difficult to comprehend happen. And we've been able to comprehend them. There may be ultimately things we'll never comprehend. And the point is, it's not a miracle to have stuff where there was no stuff. That's no miracle. It's not a miracle to have a universe where there was no universe. That's not a miracle. And you don't have to have a uniquely set of prescribed laws of physics for our universe to arise. Indeed, there may be some underlying law of physics in the universe, and I don't know the answer.